Well, hello again, all the boys and girls out there in YouTube land watching. John and Ellie of Georgia Beer Reviews back at you this Sunday afternoon with a special examination of the Steel Reserve Alloy Series Spiked Mystery. I have been really actually looking forward to trying this to see what I think. I know you've already had it, and I haven't watched your review or anything yet. I kind of wanted to see what I thought of it. To see if I could guess what the flavor is. And if you enter, you can actually enter to win $10,000 if you guess the flavor correctly. I guess you get put into a drawing and you could win some money if you guess it right. Let's see, the contest goes through October 31st. So there's still time, people, if you're interested. So thanks for joining me, Ron.
And if you get one of your Facebook friends to enter, then you can they'll give you 2 entries.
Oh, okay.
Now that's
when I enter, we talk about it when we go off air. When I enter, I can use you as my reference if you want.
Well, I already entered, so I don't know if you could do that. I think you'd have to get somebody cold that hasn't entered yet.
Okay.
But the only way you can actually get in the drawing is to guess it correctly.
Right. Okay.
So if you guess it correctly, it's probably a pretty good chance you could win, because I don't know how many people are going to get it right. But here we go. Here we go. Your first time.
Absolutely. So 8% alcohol, which I believe all of the Steel Reserve Alloy series are right at 8.0%.
Exactly. Yes. And they use the Mardi Gras, the Halloween colors.
Right.
On the can.
Really cool can. I might actually save this can because it's only around for a limited time, folks.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I think I already know one of the aromas that I'm picking up on here.
Now it says on the side, it's certified kosher, and it's union made, and the disclosure is somewhere on this can. Oh, flavored ale, flavored ale, malt beverage with natural flavors, but you'll notice no color added.
Right. It's got that white, hazy white color, whitish gray color there.
Yeah, it's like a light gray. It's translucent. The light, it makes it look like a party bulb. Look, if you hold it up, it's like the light comes through, but you can't see through it. It's
well, you've got better light than me, so it's a little brighter on your end, but
right.
Cheers, Ronnie. Yes, I am feeling much better. Still a little bit of congestion, but I'm getting my taste back. So I wanted to go ahead and do this. Maybe the Steel Reserve will knock the rest of it out of my system.
Probably will.
And cheers to you, Dr. Frosty Brew. Thanks for stopping by.
You want me to read some of the ingredients on the other Steel Reserve products? They're not listing this one.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm sure they're very similar.
Steel Reserve Spiked Strawberry Burst. That's the most recent one before this. A serving size is 5 ounces, 8% alcohol, 121 calories per 5 ounces. So there's a lot of calories.
Yeah, not the healthiest beverage.
The ingredients: water, corn syrup, barley malt, yeast, hop extract, sucrose, which is sugar, citric acid, sodium citrate, natural flavors, certified colors. Well, that's in the strawberry because it's red. Sodium benzoate and potassium sorbate added for freshness. And I notice all of them have that chemical for freshness. But now whether they have color or not, it's going to depend on that color additive. You know,
right.
But the rest are pretty much the same lineup. The thing that differs is the flavoring.
Mm-hmm.
And this one's no artificial flavoring. It's all natural. Some are artificial and natural mix. Now you're picking up some familiar aromas, huh?
I'm picking up on like a pineapple aroma.
Kind of like
it smells very sweet. Very sweet. It kind of smells a little bit like a pina colada.
That's what someone told me after I entered the contest, and I had guessed pineapple. No, and it didn't make sense to guess pineapple because they have one already called spiked pineapple.
Right.
Mm.
I'll go ahead and take a sip here. I'm curious. Cheers.
Cheers to your sipping. Ronnie's talking about what's the ABV, talking about William Kepley. And I wanted him more.
That's not caught up. But the last comment I'm seeing here is some say that it shouldn't be considered an ale.
Right, that's what he's talking about. William made a video with Ronnie, and so that's an interesting little argument.
Right, the flavored malt beverage, is it a beer? Is it not a beer? Argument.
Yeah,
this is very sweet. I can see why the serving suggestion is 5 ounces because it's obviously full of sugar.
This will be the last. This will be my last 2 beers of the day. That one can will be my last 2 beers. I usually drink 4 beers on my day off. This will be the last 2. Believe me.
Mm. It does have the pineapple, a little bit of, I guess it's coconut, but it doesn't taste like a. I mean, if you've had a really good pina colada, this is not really going to do the trick for you or do it justice. But it does. That's, to me, that's got to be what they're going for, because it does have the pineapple follows through, and then it does have that extra sweetness that I think they're trying to get it. I guess it's the coconut, and the color, even though obviously they want you to not know what it is because by not adding any color or anything, it kind of looks like a pina colada too, because pina colada is a, white beverage. So
you're right, miscellaneous magnets. Well, can I reference that video just for a second?
Yeah, sure.
I'm watching the video that they made back in June. I couldn't join for whatever reason, and Ronnie was just kind of listening, and then but he was part of it, and then William Kepley said his contention, and I'm not saying he's wrong because I just don't know. How would I know? He said he doesn't think they're really an ale because he seriously doubts that these kind of beers are top fermented and use ale yeast, and he thinks if somebody brought it to court, they would win. But my counterpoint is that the Tax and Trade Bureau requires a disclosure of what the product is, and if you put flavored ale on there, well, that has to be what it is. And like miscellaneous magnets saying, it has to be either an ale or a lager. And
right.
My second contention was, well, how do we know it's not using top fermentation, and how do we know it's not using ale yeast? I mean, we don't know. I mean, how would you know? You would have to know their internal operations.
Right.
So
I think, yeah. I've actually talked with William about this as well, and I guess even though they start with all the ingredients of a beer, of the makings of a beer, they filter it in a way, or they go and they remove those components of it to where you're left with mostly like just a flavorless base, to where you add all of these flavors to it. And I understood where he was coming from with that, but like what you're saying, I mean, that makes sense as well, because legally speaking, they have to disclose that. So
right. Now, do they have to say lager? Do they have to say ale? I'm hearing some echo again. I think you noticed.
I can mute myself while you're talking. So.
Okay. If it's a lager. If it's an ale, fine. Now, what I noticed on a recent one of these things, I can't remember the brand, they didn't put either. They just put malt beverage with natural flavors. That's all it said anywhere on the can. Flavored malt beverage with natural flavor. See, now malt beverage would cover you because a beer is a malt beverage made with malt. So, but if you're going to specifically say ale, in my opinion, you're saying that for a reason. And I don't understand why, if it was a lager, bottom fermented, using lager yeast, and then theoretically you'd lager it, age it in cold in an aging room for a long time, what your advantage would be to get that odorless, colorless, like you say, grain neutral spirit type beer-based thing. Ale, I think, is a faster process, so it seems like there might be an advantage to using ale yeast and top fermenting it, because then you don't have the long aging process, and all you're trying to do is get to a, like we talking about in the whiskey world, a grain neutral spirit or a vodka like substance. And Trader Joe's had a real good write up about it, because there's not going to be any flavor from the beer base. Not supposed to be. There's a little bit, but the flavor is coming from the flavoring. Just like with blended Scotch, the flavoring is going to come from not the grain whiskey, but from the single malt whiskey. Anyway, it's an interesting discussion. I never could find out anything definitive. I guess you could write to Molson Coors and ask them if somebody was interested enough.
Right. Yeah, that would be interesting. I'd be interested to know what they would have to say about that.
You got to write the email.
I've got some questions too about the seltzers, because those are blowing up and everybody's drinking the seltzers. Technically, that's the same thing, but it's even more diluted and they're all
look
clear,
at most of your
clear. So,
yeah. Or you're right. And look at your seltzer cans. If you look at your seltzer cans, almost all of them say very tiny off to the side. It'll say flavored beer.
Right. And one thing too, I saw an ad while I was watching the football game for Bud Light seltzer, and they say in the commercial that they filter it 7 times for extra smoothness and a light, crisp flavor. So I thought that was interesting. 7 times filtration, whatever that means for the seltzers. So for their seltzers.
Guess they just keep filtering it. That's like that what's that vodka called? What's it called? Platinum. They filter it 7 times. They distill it 7 times. Isn't that what that's?
Yeah. What is that vodka?
It's in a blue label, right?
Is it the Smirnoff Blue label?
No.
I think it's the Smirnoff Blue that you're talking about. That's distilled 7 times, which is the 100 proof version. They have the red label is the 80 proof, and then they have the Smirnoff Blue, which is a stronger version. It's 100 proof.
Yeah, but there's a vodka. It's its own brand, and I think it's called Platinum.
Platinum. Huh.
And it's distilled like 7 times. And I've had it. I think it's from France. There's was no real need for me to bring that up. It just made me think of that.
So Hector agrees. You agree with me, right? Pina colada is what you're thinking.
I don't have a lot of experience with cocktails, as you know, but there's something else. It's a strong pineapple. There's a faint, like you say, coconut taste. A lot of sugar, but don't those cocktails have a lot of sugar? And then
yeah, they do.
And there's something else like lime. Isn't there like a lime in there?
Maybe a little bit of a tartness. I wouldn't necessarily say lime, but yeah, I could see why you would think that. Yeah, a little tartness in there.
Now, see, Steel Reserve, Molson Coors, Steel Reserve keeps sending me these emails every week, and it'll say, "Here's another clue," but I never can figure out the clues. They don't make any sense to me. So it's like clues to help you guess the flavor, but I say these clues are lost on me.
Huh.
I'm sure other people figure them out.
Well, if it's not a pina colada, it's obviously some kind of tropical cocktail, famous tropical cocktail flavor. Because to me, it seems like yeah, it's got to be. It's definitely got the pineapple. The one thing we can both agree on is that the pineapple is the lead flavor, and then
it's kind of like that MD 2020 anniversary wine.
That anniversary, yeah, the man, that's good stuff. Even if you're not a fan of the MD 2020 stuff, people. If you can get your hands on the anniversary 2020 edition,
2020 Gold. Yeah, it's called 2020 Gold.
Yeah, it's good stuff. We did an examination actually on your channel. I was very, very pleased with it. A little shocked, but it was as good as it was. But
and I did enjoy it. And Thrash Metal's watching, by the way. Then Ronnie S. He had never had it, so he wanted to do an examination of any MD 2020 wine. He was curious about it. I said, well, sure, we can do that. And one Friday night, we did it. And he just happened to get the same one I got. We both got the red grape. And Ronnie was saying, oh, man, this stuff tastes just like regular Mogan David. I said, for all you know, it might be.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad. Honestly, I haven't had any of the MD 2020 products that I thought were bad. Now the Richards Wild Irish Rose, I've had a couple of the flavor variants of those that were not so good. But the MD 2020 stuff has all been pretty good. I've never had any issues with any of their flavors. But then again, they don't have some of the crazy flavors that the Richards Wild Irish. They have some really off the wall stuff.
Yeah, when I was in Birmingham, I should have bought it, but I was spending a lot of money. When I was in Birmingham last month, there was a Richards Wild Irish Rose flavored with ginseng.
Oh wow!
With like an orange label. I've had the. Excuse me, I'm coughing because I have like something in my lungs. I think it's like an allergy from the humidity we hit. We keep having this summer-like humidity here, and it's strange. But anyway, the Richards Wild Irish Rose with ginseng. I'd like to try that. I've had the Richards, the regular one, the red grape. I don't like that too much. And then I had the Moscato. I don't know if you've ever had their Moscato.
Yes, I actually like that one. That was one of the ones I brought. We may have examined that one on your channel, actually. I think we did. The
Moscato with the light blue label. 17% alcohol. Oh, you can't drink too much of that stuff.
As a matter of fact, I'm sure that we did examine that on your channel because I remember that was the first one that I had tried, and I thought it was like almost like sherry or port wine, like it had that rich dessert wine quality that I liked with the, like the Taylor and the
and it would be a dessert wine at 17%.
Yeah. So it had a lot of those qualities, which I was kind of surprised that it did. And I thought it was decent. I mean, obviously it wasn't on the same level as some of the other, slightly elevated price stuff, but it was
right. It's
good,
budget.
At least.
It's budget. There's another one called Richards Wild Irish Rose White. Just white. It's called White. I've never had it.
I've never seen that.
I've seen it. It's very similar to the Moscato, but it's called White. I might have to delve into that. Take a walk on the dark side of life with those, maybe. I don't know. Here's something. We were talking about the David Garlipe brought this to me.
That's the one with vitamin C that I keep seeing the commercial. Why would you, if you could have it with vitamin C, why would you not take it?
He goes to this place on Jefferson Highway, which you drove down to get to his place, and it's called the Salvage Store, and they always have crazy prices, and he buys stuff for unheard of prices, really unheard of. And so, yes, he had one left over, and he bought it. And I don't know who makes Vizzy. I'm sure it's one of the big companies. And it says sparkling water, cane sugar. See, I think these are beers made out of cane sugar, not malt. Natural flavor, pineapple juice concentrate, citric acid, sodium citrate, and dried acerola cherry juice. Oh, boy. I don't even know what that is. Oh, Molson Coors. Molson Coors. But look what it says, John. Molson Coors Beverage Company, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, we all know who makes the beer in Memphis, just like they make it for 6 Point. Who is Memphis? Not Molson Coors. Who is it? Think for a minute.
In Memphis. Oh, let's see. The 6-point thing is it's 6-point victory, and there's one other one. There's 3. Oh, what's the other one? I'm sure I'll as soon as I hear it, I'm gonna smack myself.
There's one big brewery in Memphis, but you'll read labels, and the labels will say Molson Coors Beverage Company, 6-Point Brewing. It might say Dixie Brewing, brewed under license for Dixie. Won't say Dixie much longer. It
Is
might
City
say,
Brewing?
Might say,
In,
you got it.
oh, look, there's Hector in the chat. Got it too. There, he just said City Brewing.
Yeah, they do all the contract brewing for everybody. Seem like.
Yeah, they used to actually do a lot more. They used to do the Guinness too, the American Blonde.
Yeah, well, they might still do some of it for overflow. I don't know if that little brewery in Baltimore County can keep up with. I don't know if they got enough capacity.
Yeah, I was thinking of when you said me, I'm thinking like, well, it's a contract brewer because all of these breweries that, these big breweries, and you see Memphis, Tennessee, it's obviously got to be a contract brewery.
And that used to be a Schlitz brewery until 1982. Well, probably really until 1999 because Schlitz got bought out, but the brewery kept going. And then when Pabst bought Schlitz, when they bought Stroh's, who owned Schlitz, that's when they started shutting down on the breweries. But I know this lady, she said back in the 80s, they went on a tour there, a brewery tour. And she said it was really interesting. They had a room called the Schlitz Malt Liquor Room. And then the room would start shaking like an earthquake and a bull would come busting through the wall. It was all obviously a prop. But she said that was pretty neat.
Cheers to you, JoJo. He loves your hat, Jay. Yeah, Jay's got the best beer and sports caps known to mankind.
Yeah, I bought this cap at like Dollar General store for $8 years ago, or it might have been Walmart. I don't really like the cap because it's one of these pre-made distressed.
It's got the acid washed look to it,
and it's torn up on purpose. And then I remember my daughter telling me one time, "Some of your clothes are worn out." I said, "But that should be what I want, right? Because people pay money for stuff that's worn out on purpose."
That's right. You could sell them now that they're worn out and get more money than what you originally paid for. That's the it thing, or the end thing.
She said, "Well, it's not the same if it wears out on its own."
Who's gonna know?
It has to be worn out from the factory. I said, "Oh, okay."
Right. Oh man.
Now the Miller shirt I ordered from Miller. You know that Miller shirt I have with the
the button up like tan colored shirt. Yeah.
Delivery shirt. Yeah, I bought that from Miller website years ago. Hey, Joe. What a schlitzy thing to do. Brian ought to be out there buying his 211 flavored beers. What he ought to be doing.
That's right. It's not bad. I'm thinking of like a rating for it. This is my first one from the Alloy series. I will probably try some of the other ones now. This one's not bad at all. It's way too sweet though, and you got to be careful with it. At 8%, all that alcohol and sugar just rushing into your bloodstream.
Yeah, more than once a month to be about all you could handle, huh?
Yeah, yeah. Unless you want diabetes.
Yes, I've done.
I would probably just give it like an 85. It's a solid B product, but there's better out there. If you want to go the flavored malt beverage route, I would like the Club Tails. You got me into the Club Tails. They have a ton of flavors. They put. I just watched your what was it? The blueberry mojito one. I'm gonna see if I can find that. That sounds interesting because mojito is my favorite cocktail. So I would really, and I love blueberry, so I would really like to try that. And I find that the Club Tails have a little bit less of like a artificial thing going on with them. They're not quite as sweet. Now, obviously, I haven't had the whole lineup. Maybe some of them are, some of them aren't. But from the ones, based off of the ones that I've had, I've really enjoyed them. They've got the 10% alcohol. They're smooth, and they're a little less like this one here, even though it's only 8%. If I had this next to a Club Tails, I wouldn't be able to tell you the difference between the 8 and the 10%. The alcohol is masked very well with the Club Tails. But anyway, this one's good. I'll give it a B.
I'd probably go into the A range, but maybe I'm a sucker for flavored stuff. Ronnie S., just like me, to our detriment, we tried the MXD flavored ones from Rochester. From Rochester, you know who makes that? 12%. Man, when you drink those, you just better like brace yourself.
Right.
They're actually pretty good.
Those. I don't think I can. I don't know if I could get those or not.
Yeah, MXD stands for mixed, obviously. There's 3 flavors so far. There's the green label, the yellow label, and the orange label. But golly gee. Oh. It gets to the point where it's kind of scary because it's a pint can and it's 12%. It's pretty good. I mean, it's not great because, Genesee, they're always like a little off. But it's all right. And then you had the sneak
cream ale. The cream ale is by far the best Genesee product that I've had. I would like to try some of their, more. I guess they only sell some of these products like right there up in Rochester. But like the Bach beer, I'd love to try the Genesee Bach. They have a Kolsch. They have, I believe they had an Oktoberfest. They put out last year. I don't know about this year.
Oh yeah,
but they have a lot of like special release, limited release stuff that's only available up in that area. So
I know I couldn't buy everything when I was up there. I couldn't buy. I mean, everything was only 6-packs. You could only buy 6-pack or 12. I mean, I wasn't buying all that. But they had something called 12. They used to make something called 12 Horse Ale. Genesee 12 Horse Ale. And I tried it on draft. It was really good. It was like a strong ale. And the brewmaster was like, well, we used to sell it in the stores, but nobody bought it. It kept going out of date. We had to keep going and pulling it off the shelves. There was no point in selling it. Nobody was buying it. I said, that's true. He said, but of course, as soon as we pulled it off the shelves, we can start getting emails. Why y'all did that? he said he wanted to tell the customers why you didn't buy it.
Right.
You can't make it, and they're selling 1 6-pack a month.
Yeah.
But it was really good. It's kind of like Yingling, the Lord Chesterfield ale. You ever had that?
Cannot get it. I've heard that it's really good. I've never had the porter either. I know you reviewed. Well, yeah. I know you reviewed both the Lord Chesterfield and the porter years ago, but can't get either one of them. I'm just hoping that the Yingling Hershey's chocolate porter makes its way to Georgia because I keep hearing good things about that, and I'd really like to try it. So
they came out with Lord Chester. Yeah, I went to Total Wine. I said, "What's up with the Hershey?" Oh, the lady says, the manager said it was supposed to come in yesterday, but it didn't show up. I said, oh, okay. She said, well, check back tomorrow. I said, well, I live 20-something miles away from here. I'm not going to check back tomorrow. Oh, yeah. Well, you can check on the website. So I've been checking for 3 weeks. It never came in. I said, boy, watch, we'll never get it. They came out with Lord Chesterfield down here around 2014. All the 12 packs showed up. I bought one. But it looks like I was the only one in Louisiana that bought a 12 pack. So next thing you knew, guess what?
Was gone. Yeah.
Gone pecan. And I let one guy try it, a friend of mine. I said, what'd you think about that Lord Chesterfield ale? I didn't like it. I said, oh, great. That was it. Never saw it again.
That's too bad. JoJo's got a question for you. I think the answer to this is yes, but I'm not
picking up.
100%
I'm
sure.
picking up lime. I'm picking up lime. I don't care what you say. Okay, what?
JoJo wanted to know if you've done a blind taste test between Miller High Life and Genuine Draft.
Yeah, years ago. Genuine Draft won, but didn't win by much.
They're both very similar, but I do prefer the MGD. And I know it's not popular where you live, but it's everywhere here. It's right. It's pretty popular here in Georgia.
Can't even get it in my town.
They actually had. They still do. Not as common as they used to be, but some of the gas stations around here still sell the 32-ounce glass bottles of the Miller Genuine Draft. So those are.
32 ounce?
When I see those, I always buy a couple.
Oh, the quart bottles, yeah.
The quart bottles, yeah, they're pretty cool. It's just you don't see them very often, so when you do, it's like ooh, pick up a few.
Now, Michael
they
Hilton.
think highly of it. It's like $5 for 32. It's not cheap.
Oh, I wouldn't pick them up. Now, Michael Hilton, instead of commenting, ought to join. He's out in California. It's only 2 o'clock over there. Go get your Steel Reserve 211 Alloy Series.
Yeah, Michael says, John, I like your direct approach to reviewing. Ron, I like your education.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
And yeah, JoJo, they I think, you actually reviewed it, JoJo, on your channel. That made me want to get it even more. Cheers to Tommy. And Kyle actually had let's see, what was he saying?
Saw Kyle on there.
Same beer, essentially. So one is, so he's talking about the Miller High Life versus the Miller Genuine Draft.
There's a slight ingredients difference, but it's minimal.
But yeah, the main difference is the pasteurization. One's non-pasteurized, the other one's pasteurized.
Yeah, one uses hops and one uses hop extract.
Which I don't think was always the case. I remember at one point looking at the ingredients and they were exactly the same.
They used to be exactly the same.
Yeah.
And even the ABV changed now. One is 4.7, one is 4.6.
Oh, I didn't know that. So they really try to distinguish between them a little bit more these days, I guess.
My videos made an influence, so.
Well, you are the best. You are the best beer reviewer on YouTube. So
no, I don't know about that. But they watched enough videos and they realized we got to make some changes, guys. So
people are on to us. We got to differentiate these two a little bit more, so people stop complaining for the $3 a 6-pack price difference.
Yeah, right. Actually, you can influence companies because I wrote an email to Budweiser and Anheuser-Busch one time about a mistake on their website, and in about a week they changed it. True story. They told me thank you for letting us know, and they fixed it. For Bud Ice, they were saying Bud Ice was introduced in 1984. I was like, whoops. I wrote an email said you got a mistake on your website. And the lady's like, what are you talking about, sir? I was like, well, you said it came out in 1984, and I have documentation proving very clearly that it was 94. We're going to check into that. We'll get back to you. So a few hours later, yes, we've noticed that error. We appreciate the information, and we will be changing this, and they did.
Did they send you some free beer? At least they could have done was sending you some free stuff.
Nothing. I wrote Pabst an email back around 2000. All I told Pabst was, just to let y'all know, I really like your beer. And they were like, oh, wow, man. And they sent me bumper stickers, a shirt, a hat, coasters, Pabst, bottle openers. Just because I told them I liked it. I told Anheuser-Busch on the website, said, thanks. I get lost. I said, okay, I know my place. I know my place.
That's pretty cool, though, that they sent you all that. Now, if they could only get their website,
it's
updated.
Better. It's better, but it's still shabby. I did write an email to Sazerac once and told them about a mistake, and they challenged me on it. They were like, well, how do you know that? And I was like, I'll show you. And I sent them documents. We'll look into it, but they never changed it. I said, well, go ahead, keep it wrong. I don't care. I mean, I didn't care if they kept it wrong. It was about ancient age. Ancient age. They said ancient age
Yeah,
came
the
out in
1926. I was gonna, yeah.
46. They said it came out in 46. But I had proof, undeniable proof, that it came out in 1936.
36. Okay.
I said somebody obviously just typed it wrong and they meant to put 46, but oh no. I said, well, maybe somebody went back in time, maybe somebody went in a time machine and got articles printed in the newspaper 10 years before it came out. You know, they put advertisements in a newspaper 10 years before Ancient Age hit the market.
Yeah.
Would be the only way. I sent them copies of the newspaper ads. I said, how could it be 1946? I said, here is a newspaper ad where the date is shown on the ad clearly. You know, New York Times or whatever, Lexington Journal, 1936. I mean, what more proof do you need? I sent them the trademark information. I had the exact date, month, and day that the trademark was approved and it went on the market. But you couldn't tell them anything. But I can't pick on Sazerac too much because they're a really good company, you know.
Yeah. Oh man, Brian, sorry, buddy. He says he's reviewing some of the non-alcohol beers. He's on a 30-day no alcohol calendar.
Oh, yikes. Okay. Sounds fun.
Yeah, doesn't sound like a lot of fun. Especially since you're a home brewer. I know you got stuff just sitting there in your basement ready to consume. Michael, I'm with you. Thrash, no.
Michael's out and about, so he say he can't have bystander. Oh yeah, well, if you're out in public, you're going to have bystander problems. I mean, you know, what do you think's going to happen?
Right. Josh has a question. God, that's a tough question, Josh. I don't know. I've had so many good beers this year.
Yeah, I mean, how can you?
Some of the founder stuff would be an easy choice because it's always good. The KBS, Marvel Rose, they have a lot of really good beers that they're putting out this year.
Who?
Founders, just some of their stouts, and they're coming out with that Founders Mackinac Fudge KBS, which I'm looking forward to hopefully trying, assuming it makes its way here to my area.
I'm sure we'll never get it. I think one of the best ones I tried was David Garlipe. I don't know where he found this. He was like, let's try this Bell's Double Two-Hearted Ale.
Yeah. I've actually seen that around here. I haven't tried it.
That was the thing. That was it.
If I could find a single, I would buy it. The Gunner's Daughter. JoJo sent me one of the Gunner's Daughter, which now I can actually get here. Mass Landing actually distributes to Georgia now. I've had that one. They make a really good sour ale that's I think it's called All Mixed Up. It's really good. So yeah, Gunner's Daughter is a peanut butter chocolate stout from them. It's really good.
Whoa. I'm still waiting on that Terrapin 10% wheat ale that somebody told me they were going to send me in July. Gamma Ray.
I've had that one before. Actually, it's pretty good.
Yeah, he came to me. It's the same old story.
Hopefully it'll work out for you this time.
Yeah, let's hope so. Let's see. August, September, October, November. In November, it'll be 4 months. I don't know. Something's telling me it ain't coming in. I got an email.
Okay, not going to happen.
I got a message from him back about a week and a half ago saying, I'm putting it in the mail today. What are they delivering it by wagon?
Oh, man.
What's going on around here?
Cheers to you, Kim. We got Ron Grovis, Mr. Ron Beer Reviews, another Ron beer reviewer.
From New England. From New England.
He does a good job. He drinks a lot of beers that I wish I could get down here, like Jack's Abbey and, of course, Trillium and Treehouse and all these iconic New England breweries that don't distribute down here to Georgia.
Yeah, Josh Abrams, you're right.
Since David is over. That was funny. I was watching Stout Sunday earlier. By the way, thanks again for hosting. I appreciate it. And you were telling me about, or you were talking to everybody about David. Just you're still into those pumpkin beers, you know. Who was it that agreed? Oh, Robert said he was over pumpkin beers as well. He's not really a pumpkin beer guy.
And then I brought up the story because I went to David and I was like, man, guess what I found? I found Pumpkinator from St. Arnold, and I found Pumpkinator barrel aged, and I found Pumpkinator bourbon barrel aged. He was like, you're not over those pumpkin beers yet? And I looked at him like, what?
I can't believe he said that after seeing the Pumpkinator beers that you had. Those, the bourbon barrel aged one with the cocoa powder, and then the straight bourbon barrel aged one. And those sound. I might have to drive down to Louisiana just to do a review of them with you, so I could get to try them. You know,
those were expensive, and I said to myself, "Good, I'm glad he's off of them. That way, I don't have to share them because they were $6.99 a bottle. I mean, this was no joke. $6.99 a 12-ounce. But he does that when he gets tired of something. Like, he's tired of it. He doesn't even want to think of it. You could tell him, I got $100 bottle of this pumpkin beer from this obscure company, and it's 18% alcohol, and it gets 110 on Beer Advocate. He'd say, "Oh, I don't want to drink his pumpkin." You know, I mean, it's just the way he would do. It's like he bought all these expensive Japanese whiskeys. I was like, man, those are good. He's like, I don't think they're that good. And I was like, well, have you finished off those Japanese whiskeys? No, he said, I haven't tried them since. I was like, okay, well, that's a lot of money you laid into those, because the Suntory Tokai and the Hibiki and all that, that's not cheap stuff.
Right. I actually liked, he let me try it when I came down. He had one of the, I guess it was the Suntory, and he opened it up, let me try it. That was the first time I actually tried Japanese whiskey, and I thought it was good. I thought it was very similar to Scotch. If you blindfolded me and gave it to me, I would have just said, "Oh, this is a good single malt Scotch."
You wouldn't have those setting on you wouldn't have those sitting on your shelf being neglected, I have a feeling.
No, they wouldn't last but a few months, maybe, if that. They would definitely get gone quick.
Yeah, so the last time I went to his house, he's like, I pushed those aside. I went and bought this Macallan what do you buy? I bought Koala 12. I bought he tells me I bought Ardbeg 10. I bought all these expensive Scotch whiskeys, and I bought Old Forester, the Black Label Old Forester, this real expensive one. And I bought the Famous Grouse port cask. He said, I don't like that one. I said, well, at least I got one sip out the bottle. But I said, man, somebody went cray. Somebody went crazy on these Scotch whiskeys. I said, well, how much was the Koala 12? Oh, $90. I said, $90. $90.
So what is David into? The winter beers now? Ha, says Josh.
Oh, he's into. Well, he told me he was getting sick. He ain't into pumpkin beers. Well, he shocked me the other day because he said, I'm coming over, and he had all these Reds apple ale variants. I never would have dreamed he'd bring those. He said, well, I don't have any experience with Reds. And he found these ridiculously low prices at the salvage store. So he had Reds Black Cherry, Reds Wicked Black Cherry, Reds Wicked Green Apple, Reds, and the Reds Sour Apple, whatever. And he wanted to review them.
They have a peach one now that I've been seeing around here, so I might have to try that.
Oh yeah, that's a good choice. If you like, assuming you like peaches.
I do live in Georgia, so it's hard to get around it,
Yeah, I think Reds, if you're going to drink a flavored ale, and I don't really like drinking them, but if you're going to drink a flavored ale, Reds might be one of your best choices, don't you think?
Yeah, I do. I was very pleased with the Reds Wicked that I tried, and then I realized how the 5-ounce serving and the extremely high calorie count. Honestly, if I'm going to go in that direction, even though I did like the Reds, I think I would probably just rather have a cider. I think they're
I don't like those.
They're very similar, but they're I don't know. I just think they're a little better in flavor with the the apple flavor. I mean,
yeah, I don't know.
Obviously not the way they're made, but
something about cider gives me the creeps. It's like
the best if you ever I don't know the Samuel Smith's organic cider. That's the standard for me. The Samuel Smith's.
My daughter brought over a bunch of ciders one day and said, "Let's do cider reviews." I said, "Okay," but I didn't like any of them. I mean, they're well made and all, but I don't like them.
Not your thing. You can't like everything. Let's see.
Now, as far as flavored beers, you have. I don't know what your favorite category. Oh, there's Craig. Hey, Craig.
Yeah, he can't find the Steel Reserve Spike Mystery in his area. It's too bad.
Man, that's a shame. You got the Natty Rush. You got the Steel Reserve, which today's your first day trying it. You got what's the other ones you got? You got Reds. There's
What are we talking about? Just
I'm talking to you about all these different flavored beer brands, and I was trying to figure out which is your favorite line, because you got the Smirnoff Ice Smash. They've got the Seagram Spiked, right? Seagram Spiked.
Yeah. Well, the Club Tails, those count, right? That's
the original Club Tails. The original Club Tails from Canada.
I do like the Club Tails. I like the Sneaky Tiki.
Genesee, Rochester, yeah.
Yeah, and
good point.
I could see myself getting into more of the Steel Reserve line. I'm not really a Four Loko or a juice guy. Those are too strong, and they're off a lot of times. They have weird artificial flavorings and colors that just don't really. I don't jive with that.
I tried the juice one time. I bought it in Mississippi. It was all right. I liked it. You ever had the Kinky?
No.
They're hard to find. I was in Memphis, Tennessee. I said, "What is Kinky?" And it was Kinky, like super strong, 8%, because they make a Kinky 5. So I know it's coming from a company called Prestige Beverages in Minnesota. I say, well, let me buy it. And I tried two flavors of the 8% Kinky. I say, it's pretty good. It was actually pretty good. And the original flavor beers, I guess, are the ones from Pabst.
Like the coffee.
No, Champagne.
Oh, Champagne is really good. I can't get it anymore here, but when I lived in Columbus, I got the golden one. I never got to try the pink one, but the golden one was really good.
And those go back to the 1930s.
I do like those. But speaking of Pabst, the Pabst hard tea and the hard coffee are really, really good.
I had the hard coffee.
And let's see. But yeah, I guess honestly the one that comes to mind when you ask that question that I've had a lot of from their lineup would be the Club Tails. I think they're probably the least cloying and the most enjoyable at that high of an ABV level. 10% is getting up there. A lot of times when you get these flavored malt beverages, 10, 12, 14%, they start getting a little questionable. But I think that the Club Tails do a really good job keeping the flavors on point and pretty natural tasting, and the alcohol is well masked. And they're not overly sweet like some of the other ones. Like the Steel Reserve one, the more I drink, the sweeter it gets. It's becoming a little cloying.
Yeah, it's warming up.
So
I think I agree with you. I think I do agree with you. And I think the worst of them, just thinking about it makes me angry. It's the Four Loko, man.
Yeah.
I had the Four Loko
I'm not even
Gold.
brave enough to try their hard seltzer. They have a 14% hard seltzer, which
I
just
saw it.
contradicts the entire, what a seltzer's supposed to be: light, crisp, refreshing, super sessionable. How can you have a 14% hard seltzer?
I saw it. And I did the Four Loko Gold. I did the Four Loko Sour Apple, but I deleted the video. I was like, oh Lord.
Yeah.
That was so, come on, man. Give me a break. Everything with Four Loko is artificial. They don't even know what a natural flavor is,
No, they don't.
They never heard of that. You ask them, they'd say, the Four Loko people would say, there's a thing called natural flavoring?
Right.
Okay.
So Josh has a question. Well, I guess we'll wrap it up here because we're going on an hour, but I want to answer this question for Josh. And you may have had, I know you've had this experience in the past. I don't know about this year, but he says, is there any beer this year that you guys could not finish because it wasn't good? I have not had that experience this year, Josh. But I have a feeling I might, because I found some Earthquake high gravity pineapple flavor the other day. So, of course, I'm going to probably try it. And if there is going to be one product this year that I dump down the drain, it would probably be that one. But I have not had that experience.
I'd like to find that, actually, just for the novelty of it,
Yeah.
Four Loko. I mean, Earthquake high gravity pineapple.
Pineapple, yep. Couldn't believe it. My jaw dropped. I did a Rontario jaw drop when I saw it it was in a gas station, kind of in a seedy neighborhood, but
naturally,
it was 2 for $3. 2 of the 24-ounce cans for $3. So
you're just minding your own business, and you're walking around, and you said,
I can't believe this stuff exists, but heck, I'll try it.
Why does it exist? Well, now you got me thinking. I can get Earthquake around here, unfortunately.
I'd be able to find it. And they have other flavors. I don't know, but that's the only one I saw.
And I never saw that on their website, but you know how they are.
Right.
Oh my gosh. Well, Four Loko, unfortunately, not Four Loko, the Earthquake high gravity 12%. I actually did finish that 24-ounce can in 2012.
Was that the one that came back up, or was it?
Yeah, I was going to say it stayed down for 3 hours, and then it came back out of my body. It was terrible, horrible.
Do you know if they still, just out of curiosity, I gotta know, because I've been looking for it for years. I don't think they make it anymore, but they might. You did a review of it years ago. The Dog Bite, 10%. Orange can with the two-headed dog. That was one that I really wanted to try. When you reviewed it, you actually gave it high marks, but then you said in the comments section like it got worse, and you lowered it down to a C or a D. But initially on your review, when you reviewed it, you gave it a B.
That's right. But the problem with Dog Bite is that it should be in a 5-ounce can.
As most of these products should be, actually.
Once you get past the first 5 ounces, it breaks down fast. And Dog Bite, 10%. Talk about chalk. I don't think I actually finished it. I dumped it out, and I couldn't even save the can, because every time I looked at the can on the shelf, it made me think about it. Just like the Axe Head. I threw away a bunch of cans from my collection. Axe Head, 11%. Ooh. Dog Bite, 4.0 Street Legal. I had 4.0 Street Legal 24-ounce can and 4.0 Street Legal 40-ounce bottle. I threw all of those away, because every time I looked at them, it would make me think about it, and I couldn't deal with the thought. It was just making me relive the experience. And I couldn't do it.
Right. I think the funniest review of the Axe Head I've ever seen was Jerry Fort, the beer review guy. He was sitting outside, and he poured it and the first sip he took, he was like swishing around in his mouth for a second, and then he turned his head to the side and he just spit it up immediately. And he was like, well, it has a really strong stale urine taste to it. And it was just, I don't know, it was a funny video. But
Josh, Crazy Cowboy was bad, but it was nothing like those other ones. Crazy Cowboy, just like, I don't know, like 6%. I mean, you can choke it down. We talking about monstrosities, atrocities of mankind. There is no way I saved the 3 cans of camo. You know that.
Yeah. He threw them up against the fence. They were so bad. Now there's some
those are the worst. Those are the
some
worst.
reviews that you did, some real gems that are way back that obviously they don't make these products anymore, but Pabst had the Coty 900, I think it was.
Good product.
That you said was really good. I looked for that, obviously, back when the video came out. This is years ago. And, of course, I couldn't find it because it's Pabst, and it's probably, there you go. And then you did some of the really, I guess they were Menhouse brands, the Panther, I think.
Jaguar.
Yeah, Jaguar. And
I did dump
another one.
I dumped out 2 cans of Jaguar. It was bad. I dumped out 2 cans. I was like, I don't need this in my life.
Yeah. But there were some really cool, some of your classic reviews you got. You found some of those really cool, very rare malt liquors that, of course, are no longer made, or they're only available in Detroit, a lot of them.
This one was really good. This was a really good one.
The Eagle. Huh. Premium malt liquor. All right. Who makes that? Was that a Pabst one? Or?
I bought a 6-pack of this right off of Interstate 10.
Who makes that one? Was that Pabst?
No, it was from a company called Evansville Brewing. Unfortunately, Evansville Brewing went out of business in 1997.
Oh, man.
Hey, Carnal. So what happened was I bought this, and then I went back to look for it, and I never could find it, but I didn't realize the company went out of business like about a month after I bought it. So, I mean, they made good beers. They made Sterling beer. They invented Mickey's Fine Malt Liquor.
Wow.
But they, here's another good one I bought in Queens, New York City.
Silver Thunder. That's one of the ones. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, it was really good, but Pabst had too many malt liquor brands.
One apparently that they still make, but it's only available in very limited quantities in select states, is the St. Ides. I believe that's Pabst, and they had the original St. Ides and then the High Gravity, and I know you've had both of them, I believe.
Yeah, this was the premium that they used to sell here.
Yeah.
6%. Now you see the Coty 900 was trying to steal St. Ides.
The label design, yeah.
Got
like the hurricane hitting the palm trees thing.
Yeah. On there. We used to get these for it was a bomber bottle. Well, just a typical price. They weren't expensive, but we used to get these. It says St. Ides Brewing Company, Lehigh Valley, Pennsylvania, and under special arrangement, Detroit, Michigan. Well, Detroit, that was Stroh's, and Stroh's bought St. Ides, and then St. Ides, Stroh's got bought by Pabst, so it's a Pabst brand. But boy, try finding St. Ides these days. Then they came out with the High Gravity, of course, later on in Louisiana. I thought it tasted stronger. I don't know why they went to 8%, but and now
what was the premium? Was it 6%?
6%. And we haven't gotten St. Ides in Louisiana for 20 years. Been 20 years.
Well, we may have never gotten it here in Georgia, at least not since I've been of legal drinking age, because I have looked. And when I was up in North Carolina, I looked. And every time I travel, I look for all of these different brands, that I can't find here. And of course, no luck with that. But most recently, one of the malt liquors that I was able to find that I had never had before, when I went to visit William Kepley, and I was on my way back, I was driving through, I believe it was Spartanburg or South Carolina, and I found the
Spartanburg. That's right on the interstate. Spartanburg,
right.
Right
I found the 6% Hurricane malt liquor, which of course, I had to buy it. It was a little out of date, but it was still good.
Which one?
The Hurricane 6%, because I've only ever had only ever seen the 8.1% up until that point.
You're talking about the black label. Yes, I will answer. Yeah. His question was, I've heard of it. It's sold in China and it's like $40 a bottle. Yes.
Yeah, Pabst has some interesting products too. Up in Canada, they have a different line. They have the Pabst Strong or the Pabst.
Yeah.
I'm not sure what the proper name is, but it's like a Pabst malt liquor.
5.9. Here's one.
Nighthawk. That's the one I was thinking of that I couldn't think of the name of earlier. I wanted to say Night Train, but yeah, Nighthawk. That's a Minhouse one, right?
Yeah, and I bought it right here in this town. And it was trash. And here's another one. Here's another one I bought.
I like the label.
Yeah. Here's another one I bought right here in this town.
Ooh, hold on. I gotta blow this up. I can't really see if we get a better look.
It's a strange shaped bottle.
What's it? I'm trying to read the cursive there. Oh, Wildcat. Wow, malt liquor. That is cool. Unleash the cat. A full-bodied brew with wild hops and lots of malt. Ooh, I'm interested.
And a terrible taste. And
I would have tried it.
Yeah, it was. But I just bought it because I thought I'll never see it again, and I never did. And Nighthawk, I saw it twice, and I knew the last time I saw it, I said, "Man, if I don't buy it, I just know I'm never going to see it again," and I never did. Man, these old City Brewing. Yep, look what it says. Melanie Brewing Company, La Crosse, Wisconsin.
Melanie Brewing, yeah.
There's no Melanie Brewing anymore. I talked to her one time on the internet, on email. I said, why do they call it Melanie Brewing? Well, because my name is Melanie.
Oh, wow.
Melanie Sieber. And I asked her, I said, do you own City Brewing? And she was like, well, let's just say we have an arrangement. She wouldn't answer the question directly. I was like, oh, okay.
Huh.
That was the answer. Let's just say we have an arrangement.
Josh wants to know if you have any West Laterian 12 bottles lying around, or did you? It's not domestic, so I don't know. He usually doesn't keep anything but domestic bottles.
Sometimes you got to break your own rules when it comes to things like this.
I figured, though, you might. Yeah, just because it's such a rarity. Nice. Here, I'll blow it up for a second so the viewers can get the full experience.
And it was only $14 a bottle.
Oh, you're breaking up there.
Froze up a little bit.
Okay. I think
froze
you're
up
back.
a little bit. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. It was like some kind of power surge and it just froze. But only $14 a bottle.
For $14, yeah, I'd probably save it too. Just, you don't want to
But you
throw
know what
away
else this came with? Yeah, you know what else it came with? It did come with 2 of these. I'll show you.
Oh, thank you. DJ Frosty Bruce says this video is fantastic. Thanks, guys. Well, thank you for watching. Yeah.
We're about to get off there. So for $85, you got 6 of these full of beer. And 2 of these. Two of these.
Yeah, I've always liked those glasses. Those are some of the cooler glasses that you have there.
So I gave one to my friend Paul, and I gave him about 2 bottles. And then one guy traded me like 10 beers plus $20 for a bottle. He was so frantic to get one. And then I kept the other 3 and drank them. And people always ask me, what's the best beer you ever had? I always tell them this.
Right.
Yes,
should
they
be
do.
For that price.
They do dream of electric sheep. So anyway, okay. Well, that's it, I guess.
Yeah. All right. Well, yeah, we'll go ahead and wrap this up. We have gone over an hour. It's easy to get carried away when you start bringing out the classic beer bottles and cans. I love talking about that stuff and the classic brands, that we can't get, that we can just dream about. Or in your case, reminisce about, because you'll never find them again.
If you were at a grocery store and you saw this, would you buy the 6-pack?
You damn right I would. I'd buy a few. I've never even had the regular. I mean, obviously they don't make the Olympia Dry anymore, but the regular Olympia I've never had. Never seen.
I was over there at that store, and I was like, you were mocking me earlier, but it makes sense to me. I was over there at Albertsons in Baton Rouge, and I was walking around shopping. I was like, I shook my head like, and I picked this 6-pack up. I said, Dry Olympia. I said, that's what I'm buying tonight.
Yeah.
But that was not the greatest find. Of course, y'all know what the greatest find was. No need to show it, but.
Oh. What?
No, I can't. I mean, you're about to get off the air. I was saying there's no need to show it. But.
Well, what is it? Yeah, you bring it up. You gotta. What's the greatest?
Right. Hold on a second.
Go ahead. We've gone this long. What's another couple minutes? Heck. Commerce says Olympia was pretty popular back in the 80s. I wouldn't know. It's still pretty popular out west, I think.
Yeah.
We don't get it here.
I did find this one time on Canal Street, New Orleans. I was on Canal Street and I went to a liquor store and I saw this. I was kind of shocked. I was like, what the heck is this? But it says San Antonio Brewing Association, San Antonio, Texas. But I found out it's Pearl Brewing, but it's called Sports.
Sports, that's got the corrugated can. That's neat.
Back in the mid to late 90s, everybody wanted to come out. Somebody came out with this design. So for a couple of years, everybody wanted to do that. And then it kind of went out of style. So people stopped all of a sudden. Well, this was not a bad beer. And then, of course, Pearl got bought out by Pabst. So then immediately you couldn't find Sports or Pearl. But I was at that same store a few months later because I had to go back after finding, you're going to always go back right after you find one strange thing. And this was in 1996. So I was walking around in that store and I was like, but I caught my breath. I just was like, and I found this.
Oh, wow. Yep.
St. Ides Gold, $3.99 a 6-pack. Not a malt liquor. This is premium beer, baby.
That's kind of like the other one that you got that was similar to that, the Colt 45 premium beer.
Cold filtered. Yeah, that Colt 45 is cold filtered beer. I saw that in La Crosse, Wisconsin. I had to buy it. And I let my daddy try it. I said, hey, what do you think about it? He said, it's okay. It's kind of strong. I said, strong? You mean because it's not electric? Yeah.
Yeah.
This was one of the great. I was in love with this thing.
Love the can design. Love the man. If if they distributed that like they did the Colt 45 malt liquor, I bet you it'd sell like crazy just because
I know.
it
I said
looks
Colt,
cool.
I said Colt 45 beer. I said, woof. I had to buy it. And then, but this St. Ides Gold, man, whenever I show this, people are like, what the hey? And apparently it was produced in 1996 for the Olympics.
Whoa.
You know what I'm saying? For the gold. They even had a website on this can, www.goldbeer.com. St. Ides Brewing Company, Detroit, Michigan. Well, everybody knows that's Stroh's. I looked up the website and it was nothing there. Well, nothing would come up. So even then it was like gone already. All right. Well, that's it. Show is over.
All right, let's go ahead and wrap it up. Thanks so much, Ron, for joining. I appreciate it. It's kind of I don't know. As soon as when I found out I could get the mystery beer, I was like, yeah, that'd be kind of cool to do an examination and guess the flavor. But it turned into a much deeper conversation and a kind of a throwback to all the classic beers, and then a little at the end there, kind of cool looking at some of these discontinued brands. But thanks to everybody in the chat for watching. Thank you, of course, Ron, for joining and for hosting Stout Sunday this morning. Y'all go check out Stout Sunday on Louisiana Beer Reviews. Oh, Valentine. Yeah.
Did y'all ever get this one?
Nope. I wish we did. I've heard Michael Kormeroff raves about that beer. I can't get it, though.
Yeah, I bought this in New Orleans. Okay, that's it. All right.
All right. So thanks to everybody in the chat for watching. Thank you, Ron, for joining, and hope everybody has a great rest of the weekend. Enjoy your football, enjoy your baseball, enjoy whatever it is that you do, and we'll see you all on the next one. And until then, cheers, everybody.